think big, start small, and move faster. One of the first things is to try to break any kind of silos between the different kind of departments. This is for sure. If you don't transform your company, you will not attract talent. So we need to offer a different kind of experience to our customer. So we need to provide any kind of services that is on top of our product that are always omnichannel services. So and the experience has to be transversal. My role has been, and it is always, a change agent role. A role to drive with the business, sometimes driving, sometimes following a change that the company is doing. I'm really convinced that digital transformation is a matter of more people that are working together, and there is not just one player that can take the decision.
This is CIONEXT TV. My name is Hendrik Dekkers. I'm here today with Armando Laurenti, who is the CIO of Bulgari. Armando, you studied economy in Rome. You have 23 years of experience in IT management, and you've been with Bulgari for the last 20 years in several different positions, logistics applications, retail, production, and you've been the CIO for the last 6 years. And of course, we all know Bulgari for their beautiful jewelry. They are the master of color gems, and besides that, they have watches, they have bags, they have perfumes, and now they have hotels and resorts as well. Thank you very much for your hospitality, Armando.
It's a pleasure.
So Armando, let's first talk about the Omnichannel acceleration program that has been implemented here in 2017, and then the projects that are examples of that.
Yeah. Yes, we started in 2017 launching this acceleration program on the Omnichannel world, with the objectives to transform our, let's say, capability to enter in contact with our customer, designing a different kind of purchasing path that should not be like just a typical purchasing path, but should be a purchasing path that should be, let's say, should touch any kind of digital touch point that our customer can enter in contact when they enter in contact with our brand.
Yeah. Because typically your customers, they would go into a store, and then buy something, and you would, as a brand, you would, as a company, you would not have direct contact with them.
Yeah, the point was, again, try to identify a really seamless experience as a customer experience within the stores, online, and any kind of, let's say, touch point that the customer enter in contact with us. This was the objective.
Yeah.
You know, client for us is, our mantra as a Bulgari is a client Rex. So we want to create a unique...
The client is king.
Exactly. Client is Rex, is king. And we want to create a unique customer experience. And we work in a different kind of streams to accelerate this program and to enter this kind of concept in our reality. And then obviously we implement several streams. One was creating a customer service, digitalizing our stores, creating also, let's say, any kind of clienteling app that they can better enter, creating interaction with the customer. And within this kind of program, we launch a different new idea designed with our business.
Okay.
And one of a very interesting idea that we launched was in the China market. You know, China is for us one of the most important market for us, and also the Chinese customer is the biggest, let's say, customer panel worldwide for Bulgari. So, you know, China is a very particular market, and also the behavior of our Chinese customer is
different than here in Rome.
Completely different from also the rest of our customer as well. You know, in China there is this platform that is WeChat. It's very famous. It's not only a social platform, but is more than a social network. It's a payment platform, and Chinese customer use this solution to do anything, honestly. Entering in contact with a brand, making payments, doing payment, and so on. So we launched this project that we call Bulgari, that was a clienteling app that has been provided to our client advisors within our stores to create this, let's say, omnichannel experience between our client advisor and our final customer.
Okay.
What was the objective? The objective was to change and also to digitalize our selling ceremony I mean, the selling ceremony.
The selling ceremony.
Absolutely.
That's how you call it. A selling ceremony. Wow, that's amazing.
It's a selling ceremony that is something that typically was very institutional. And we are starting to digitalize. That was very important. And for this reason, we introduce devices within the stores. We are provided smartphone to our client advisor that using the We Bulgari app to better interact with our customer. What was the very interesting things is that client advisor using We Bulgari is able to share product information with our customer. That could be product information like pictures, pricing, and any other information regarding the project. And they continue to contact and also maintain the dialogue open with our customer, even if when our customer is outside the stores.
Okay.
So when a purchasing path from customer point of view can start when he enters in the stores, but maybe is not finished at the time, is continue also when he go outside the stores.
Okay.
And using the We Bulgari, the client advisor can share this information with the customer.
On WeChat?
On WeChat, on the platform as well. Supporting him in the final decision processes.
Okay.
And the final customer have the possibility also to complete the purchasing online, making the payment on WeChat directly on their own smartphone.
They don't have to come back to the shop. They
Absolutely.
They went in the shop, they saw the product, they were not sure yet, and then you follow up after the shop experience, and they can do the sale on social then.
Yeah. Imagine that when you enter in a store, typically the client advisor proposes you a trail of products to make the choice. We virtualize this trail. So when the customer came out from the store, they didn't decide yet to buy the product, the client advisor can share to the customer the trail of product they already saw in the stores. To remember him, what was the initial choice, to give the opportunity to the customer to share maybe the trail with the others, creating this kind of a viral, let's say, situation and making suggestions from the others. And then the client advisor can support him also on the final purchasing that could be done on WeChat. Then it will be like a delivery, if the customer want to receive the product at home, or maybe it's a click and collect coming back to the stores. It's an example of omnichannel, let's say, journey that the customer can do it inside the store and outside.
And what was the results of this?
It was very, very interesting. The project, just to talk about the project, it's the time to market was very aggressive. So we decided to use, let's say, a design thinking approach and agile methodology. We launched this project. We delivered the project in 12 months. Only. And we use also a very interesting concept that is the minimum valuable product concept. What does it mean? So let's start with the minimum product that we need to deliver, let's see the result, and then we develop the other part of the project.
The minimal valuable product or the viable product, the MVP?
Both, valuable and viable. Both. Okay, that was the concept. We choose a very lean team. Even if we involve a client advisor, we involve also our final customer, making some interview to them to understand what were their need. But we concentrate a very lean team, just 12 people, and we deliver the first, let's say, minimum valuable product in 6 months.
Okay.
And after 6 months, the result was very good. We had 2 million euro sales because of that. And then we start to extend the solution, not only in China, but also in the other region in Greater China, that is Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan, where typically our Chinese customers are more, let's say, are more frequently, our customer. So we extend to the other region, and we continue to use this kind of approach to grow step by step the solution. We decide to industrialize the solution when the number became important, and now in 2019, now we are reviewing the solution, we are integrating more the solution in our global CRM, and we are, let's say, creating a solid platform. But because today the reality is that this is a real, let's say, one-to-one online channel that our client advisor is using.
And you want to bring that to the rest of the world also, outside of Asia?
using also outside Asia. We are not using Bulgari. We use another solution that is similar, always developed on the same concept, because obviously we are using different kind of platform. There is no WeChat used maybe in the US and so on. We are using a different kind of platform according to different kind of country.
Okay.
So we extend the concept also to the rest of the world.
Okay.
Sure.
So your approach here is?
My approach was think big, start small, and move faster.
Armando, let's talk about the second example of the transformation project that you have done, which is about the RFIDs that you put in these lovely bags here.
Yeah.
Tell us the idea, the concept behind that.
Okay, let's introduce what was the challenge before. As you know, as you can see, we produce, let's say, luxury bags, and our craftsmanship and design is unique. We need to guarantee the uniqueness of our product and the authenticity as well. So we decide, in collaboration with our accessory business unit colleagues, to use the RFID technology to insert in our bags. And we launched this project at the beginning to guarantee the uniqueness of product and the authenticity of product using the RFID technology. Second objective was also to facilitate and speed up, let's say, any kind of operational activity within, let's say, our warehouse and production or logistics, and also having the simple, let's say, supply chain tracking of the product, always using the technology. This was the beginning, but then...
It was more internal.
Exactly. Then we decided to, again, exploit the technology for the final customer interaction. As we said before, in order to build this kind of new customer experience, and because we want to reach our, let's say, millennial target, we want to find an innovative way to communicate with our customer. And at that time, we think that we could use, and we are using our product as a touch point with the customer. So using the technology at the end, the bags has his own digital identity. So we create a digital identity for each bag.
Each unique bag.
Each unique bags, and the bags can talk with the customer. I mean, it's not the bags, it's the brand that is talking with the customer through the bags. That was a very innovative way to do it. So we develop, let's say, an application that giving the opportunity to the final customer tapping on the bags to retrieve, first of all, the information about the bags, regarding again about the authenticity of the product, about the product information regarding also the product carrying as well, but can have also access to some specific content, marketing content, that we can diversify according to the bag, according to the market, and according to the sales period as well. That's very, very interesting because we can tailor the messages, we can tailor the information and create a different kind of experience. By
so you know this customer has bought this bag at this moment in this place. So and you can tailor your marketing around that to say that maybe now we need to send these messages.
Absolutely.
And so on and so
this
on.
is the idea. So we can tailor the message if the customer is buying the product in China or in the US or in Japan. The information that we can provide could be different. And also could be different bags by bags as well.
So Armando, you've for the last couple of years you've gone through a serious digital transformation. What are the general learnings for you on how a company can do a digital transformation?
I think that again, more than let's say a technology issue, is a real let's say enterprise transformation in anything you do. I mean, in terms of talent acquisition, in terms of technology, in terms of idea and the approach. It's something that's very, very, let's say, complicated, but in the same time absolutely exciting, in my opinion. What I can say is that probably what is key as a lesson learned is that one of the first things is to try to break any kind of silos between the different kind of department. This is for sure. Is the way to work has to be completely, let's say, cross-functional, agile, and so on, and create this kind of, let's say, unique vision from the design thinking to the delivery as well. This is absolutely a key aspect, for sure, in my opinion. And let me say that also, in some cases, the return on investment, what you are doing, is not always evident at the beginning. So most of the time you launch many projects, but you don't have a real return on investment from the economics point of view. And that there is sometimes some doubt to go ahead or not. Honestly, my position and my idea is absolutely to move on, to go ahead, because first or later, if you don't do it, you really, let's say, accumulate some debt from the digital point of view that you put your enterprise in trouble. Which part of trouble? In my opinion, first of all, in terms of talent acquisition, because if you don't transform your company, you will be not, let's say, you will not attract talent. This is that's my opinion, is the biggest issue, the most important one.
So what you're saying is even let's say a very traditional company like Bulgari needs to go through a transformation and I would say an ongoing transformation, ongoing change on a regular basis to at least be attractive for top talent.
For top talent, for sure, we need to do also, because we need to offer a different kind of experience to our customer. Our customer today, even if we are a traditional brand, required and would like to have a different kind of experience. So we need to provide any kind of services that is on top of our product that are always omnichannel services. So and the experience has to be transversal. Okay.
So Armando, let's talk about how IT and digital are organized here. You are running the IT department for the last 6 years. I understand that today you operate with a bi-modal operating model. Can you talk about that?
Absolutely. We start from, let's say, in IT department, obviously that was mainly, like me say, ERP driven in the past, in the last, from 2000 to until 2010, 2011. And all the competencies and the approach was quite, let's say, simple and also like a analytical approach, like a typical waterfall approach for the project, analysis and so on. That was typically for the ERP area. As you know, obviously now with the digitalization, there is a transformation. So we are moving, we are creating, I strongly believe on this kind of bi-modal, because the approach is completely different. Typically in my organization, I'm continuing to use the two different modes. Mode one for any kind of project that is a typical ERP project, a back-office project, that could be supply chain, finance, planning and so on. Infrastructure as well, that require a very analytical approach, that are very solid on this way. And on the other part, that is more true for any kind of, let's say, digital marketing project, that should be more exploratory, more agile and so on. I introduced this concept in a very soft way, let me say, try to avoid to give the perception of class A and class B, because mode one is less important than mode two. But now everybody understands that the two way to work are equally important and can live together. What's the challenge? How to integrate the two work together? Because sometimes there is not always a very clear, let's say, separation. We need to create this kind of, let's say, transfer of knowledge between mode one and mode two, and the way to work should be always integrated.
And is mode two expanding? I mean, is the agile way of working taking more and more importance in the organization, or is?
Let me say, first of all, mode two is growing in terms of percentage of spending is growing, obviously, because of the digitalization. But on the other hand, we are launching so many projects in the production side that probably also mode one is continuing to grow as well. So they are growing equally together.
You have about 90 people in IT globally. So tell me a little bit, how is that organized? What is centrally organized, and where do you, because you're really a global organization, and what functions do you have in the local operations? Sure.
We had at the beginning, I'm talking about 2000 first, mainly. We started with a completely centralized model. And it was centralized not only because of our IT model, but also because our business model was strongly centralized. We are talking about luxury. And when we talk about luxury, you talk about strong governance. You can imagine. So in 2000, when the company started with the expansion in terms of a new market, a new product, we want to go very fastly, but at the same time, maintain always the governance very strongly. Okay. At that time, it was important to define a very, let's say, simple core model that should be able to be replied all over the world.
Yeah.
So, and we worked together, IT and the organization department, to standardize business process and application implementing all over the world.
Yeah.
It was very important, but obviously it's required and also give us the opportunity to centralize anything to the corporate, let's say, department. It was until 2008, 2009. Then we start to differentiate and also changing the situation and moving more and more the strategic part and also the development outside the corporate side to the region. Obviously, I'm not talking about all the region. I'm talking about mainly where we have some specific process that is very, very complicated. I'm talking about mainly production sites, logistics sites, China market, where obviously the differentiation are very, very important. In this case, I'm moving from a global central model to a federated model, where there is a different kind of center of competencies also locally that are starting to develop a solution.
Yeah. And so the central part, what is it that then you keep centrally in the organization?
I could be centrally everything that is obviously ERP. So typically the ERP remains centrally, obviously is an ideal situation for any kind of CIO who would like to have one ERP, one instance globally.
And you have that?
I have that.
Okay.
That is a huge advantage that we built in the 20 years and give us now the possibility to be concentrated on the other part of the world that is the digital. Because for the back office point of view, we are very, very consistent. That's a big advantage.
Yeah.
So, and this part will remain always centralized. But you can imagine there are so many, let's say, local situation that could require local application that could be, let's say, put on top of the ERP. That could be, I don't know, in production, that could be in logistics, or could be like, I don't know, the digital ecosystem in China. In this case, this kind of situation will be managed directly, locally by my teams.
Okay.